Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. This is the Wellness Inspiration podcast. And today's episode, I'm Dr. Val. This
Hi,
is
and
Dr.
Dr. Colleen.
Colleen.
Oh,
Um,
wait, everyone knows us by
I know,
now.
right? So we're just going right into it. So today's episode is lifestyle and wellness tools,
Six, mostly free.
mostly free. So we like to use little tools in our office and we give like helpful hints and things to make your lifestyle better and make your life better and easier and um, help
Get results. We want results for
yeah,
people, right? Health and wellness results.
health and wellness results because we want you to be well, stay well, and we want to inspire. So the first thing that I offer a lot of our nutrition patients that come into the office that do our fat burning or do Dr. Colleen's fasting classes. Uh, I do an olive oil tip. So an extra virgin olive oil tip. It has
Which
the
is
most,
pretty amazing, all the things it does.
yeah, I did research. I'm not the researcher, she is. So I'm pretty proud of myself for
Exactly.
doing this research.
You did a lot of
Because
research.
I don't research. She does all the research. She's the science tech. She's the science geek. So so I did the research on extra virgin olive oil. So our background story is that when we were in chiropractic school, that she didn't even remember, we had a nutrition professor.
Don't remember. Oh, Goldberg,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we had a nutrition professor that actually told us about this olive oil, and you should take olive oil. He also talked about distilled water, but I'm going to do that different. So the olive oil is you need to ingest at least 2 tablespoons of olive oil a day, at least 2 tablespoons. And everybody was like grunting and groaning and whatever. And I used to tell people over the years, the olive oil is probably the best thing for you, next to avocado oil. But I did a really deep dive into the benefits of olive oil for you. So what I tell people is that every morning, I'm going to give you my morning and evening tip because what most people are going to find interesting is that it breaks your belly fat and makes your belly flat.
Ooh, I like
you
that.
Like
Never heard you say that before.
just now. Anyway, the best thing to do is to take a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil and ingest it, and then chase it with an 8-ounce warm glass of water. So, what it does is it supports your digestion and helps that extra fat burning boost in the morning on an empty stomach. So that's the best thing. I like to add a little lemon lime water to it. You can, because that also is
lemon lime water or just squirt
some lemon and lime in it. I squirt a little lemon and lime in mine. Some people just use lemon. I like lime better than lemon, but I just like the taste. And it's refreshing. It supports your digestion. It breaks down the belly fat. So you do this in the morning on an empty stomach before anything, before your coffee, before you do anything, before you take your supplements, and then you do it again at night. Repeat it before you go to bed. So that actually helps, when you're doing your fasting, it helps with your hunger and it helps with
phone's ringing.
ringing.
Hey,
So,
we are, authentic
live.
here.
We're live. So anyway,
yeah, just quickly, if you are fasting, you can do the olive oil in your fast. It will sort of break your fast, but it's not going to take you out of ketosis, which is when you're in your fat burning state. So it's just, do you know how many calories is in a tablespoon?
No, because it's different with each olive oil that you get from each region that you get it from. And it needs to be pure. And I have a guide that we're going to make available to you. So, and it actually breaks everything down. And I know a lot of people keep say to me, oh my God, I'm going to gag. It's going to make me sick. And then I remind people that when you go to an Italian restaurant and you can sop up
Mhm.
more than a tablespoon of
Yeah.
olive oil with a small little piece of bread.
Right, yeah.
So just, and now I'm telling you, when you read my guide, or when you read the research that I've done on this, you're going to be doing shooters, because actually my fiance, he was like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And now he's like, oh, I put it in a shot glass and I do a shot, because that's a little more than a tablespoon.
Right.
So the more that you get into you, the better it is. So I'm just going to read over quickly, like some of the reasons why. I go deeper, but some of the reasons why is it's fat loss and appetite control. Olive oil is a healthy fat, just like Dr. Colleen said. So it also regulates your blood sugar and your hunger hormones, which is your leptin and your ghrelin, which are your hunger hormones. So it's an anti-inflammatory. Everybody loves making sure their fingers and joints don't hurt.
Right.
It's an anti-inflammatory, so it breaks down the inflammation in your body. The overall skin and beauty, those Italians with their extra virgin olive oil really get the job done. Because you could feel, I mean, I've been doing it for a while, and I really do have good skin, if I say so myself. I mean, and it is genetic, because my mother has gorgeous skin too, not a wrinkle on her face, and at 82 years old. But she also liked olive oil. Brain and memory, cognitive function. Regular olive oil consumption gives you a sharper brain. So it actually reduces levels of Alzheimer's related markers. So and I get deep into what those markers are too when you read my little guide. And last but not least, certainly can't count it out, is for your heart and cholesterol. EVOO really helps raise the good cholesterol and breaks down the bad cholesterol. So, and it's overall great for your digestion and your gut health, which we said in the beginning. Your fat loss, your gut health, all tied in to everything.
Absolutely.
So bottom line, extra virgin olive oil isn't a magic bullet, but it is one of the most powerful science-based foods that you can add to just your daily routine. Just add it to your lifestyle. And whether you take a shot or you use it on salads, just try to get as much in. You could use it on salads, your veggies, put in your soup. EVOO, it supports your fat loss, your overall health, your thinking, your glowing skin, and your long-term vitality. So we suggest adding a little olive oil to your lifestyle. So that's why we said mostly free, because you really have to go buy some olive oil.
And make sure you buy olive oil that is one country originated.
Yes.
And
that's in my shopping
pretty
tip.
Sure that you're getting, higher quality. So it's often you see that it's comes from a few different countries, Spain, Italy, Greece, or whatever. Get one origin country.
One origin. Just make sure that it's in a glass bottle. It's in a dark bottle, because I have all these written out, little shopping tips. So make sure it's cold pressed. It's a glass bottle, and you have to look. Make sure that you could see there's an expiration date. Most people don't know that when it sits on the shelf and it's in a plastic bottle, that it causes the polyphenol to not generate. So you want it to be a little bitter when you're when you take it, when you ingest it. So that's the higher quality of olive oil has more polyphenols in it, and that's why some of it's like a little richer, a little thicker, peppery, a better peppery taste. So try, get your olive oil in.
Go to our website and you can download the very informative guide Dr. Val created.
So should we tell them how?
At the end, I'll tell you how.
Okay.
Because the fact that Dr. Val talked about olive oil being in plastic bottles and things like that. So one of the next really easy, and this is totally free, is to start removing toxic chemicals from your foods. When it comes to food additives, very much the colors, the dyes, and There's a lot of talk in the United States now about that stuff and that it's affecting our health, and especially our kids with their, Fruit Loops that are like bright and glow in the dark. Some of these things that kids eat, not good. But additionally is other chemicals that are coming from the actual containers that foods are stored in. Even cans have sometimes, the chemicals on the inside of them for the storage of vegetables and soups and different things like that. And there's BPA, phthalates. These are highly disruptive to our system, and they call them obesogens because that's one of the things that they're going to do.
They clog up your cells.
They clog up your cells, and your body has a defense mechanism to handle this stuff that's stored in your fat. And the more chemicals and things that you have in your body, the more fat your body's going to store because it needs the space to put them. So cleaning up your diet, cleaning up the toxic foods, cleaning up the containers you're using, stop putting things in plastic into the microwave. That is like one of the worst things. You're just like bursting things out of you. And there are chemicals in these things that are called PFAS. They call them PFAS, but they're forever chemicals. Like they find these chemicals in when they test, umbilical cords and things like that. And it's in water systems and in the dirt and the ground that our vegetables are grown in. So it's a huge problem that, thank God, more people are becoming more aware of it, right? So they're making choices. But use things like glass and stainless steel to store foods. And
new glass, they're not new because I've had them in my life forever. Yeah. My mother's always used like the glass containers more than the plastic containers. Yes. Like try to change out those plastic microwavable containers.
Slowly start throwing that stuff out. Don't reuse stuff that food came in from a paper and things like that. Don't use that stuff. Don't reheat in those things. So that's an extremely easy thing to start implementing and start changing. It could cost you a little money if you don't have the glass, containers. But do that slowly, buy one or two here and there. Yeah, I go to TJ Maxx and buy a lot of things that are like that too. TJ Maxx and Marshalls, they have a lot of that stuff really cheap. So that's another pretty much mostly free. And unless you don't have glass and storage containers that you need to start, but you don't have to throw everything out and go buy, $50 worth of containers to get started. Just start making those changes.
Small little changes.
Yeah.
Small little baby steps.
Baby steps, yes. So now something else that's absolutely free is stress. Lowering your stress in your life is a huge, huge bonus benefit overall for mind, body, spirit, health overall. It just changes things when you can start making those connections on where your stress is, what can you alleviate in your life, what could you say no to, right? We all want to say yes. We all want to be the good friend, the good family member. But sometimes choosing yourself and saying no to some things just to keep your life a little more simple to make stress. And Val and I are people that have a lot of stress in our lives. Not as easy. Yeah. And we know that. We know it's not as easy. We know you have to make these choices. But again, none of this stuff, even the fasting, when I teach that, is I'm not telling anybody to be perfect about anything. We don't expect anyone, but it's about these baby steps that we're talking about.
Because we're on the journey with you.
Yes.
We're doing it too. We've been biohacking ourselves forever since we met chiropractic school or even before. We've been learning and doing things to better ourselves and better our health and better our wellness and, better our lifestyle.
Yeah. One of my favorite, sayings is not my monkey, not my circus. So understanding what really isn't yours to be, shouldering, and not getting involved in things you don't need to be, keeping the drama low, and just kind of alleviating as much stress as possible. Yeah. It's a goal, right? It's not and it's a moving target all the time. The goal is always changing because every day new stresses show up, right? We know that. So when you think everything's kind of cool and you're coasting, here comes something else into your life.
Sure.
So, all right, that's 3. So number 4 is sleep. And that's a huge free again, totally free hack that will help your body do so much stuff because so much is happening when we're in that sleep mode. and getting as much deep sleep as you can, because that's when your body truly does its repairing and restoring itself.
I have to admit,
You're a bad sleeper.
I am, but I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've done stuff that cleaning up my environment, trying to get to bed a little bit earlier. I know it's tough because my schedule that I don't want to get into is a little difficult at night, but for the most part, I feel like since I've been doing the fasting, been doing our Invisared, been doing these all little things that we're actually talking about and incorporating it, I am feeling like the sleep that I do get is more quality.
That's
because
good.
I'm not waking up tired. I used to wake up tired,
Right.
and I'm not waking up tired anymore, which is
That's
great.
good. And they do recommend like a minimum of 7 hours. 8 and 9 hours is even better. But many people don't get that on a regular basis. So when you're discounting that, and I don't want to give it like a clock or a bank, like you can't really bank sleep. Like, oh, I had a weekend, I slept a little bit more. That's helpful, and that's useful for your body, but it's not preparing you for the next week to be again not sleeping enough. It has to become more of a routine, more of a regular thing that your body gets that time, and just simple things like maybe you can't fall asleep. So it's, your brain's on, you need to shut your brain off. Write things down, write out all the stuff that you got floating in your head, get it out of write it on a notepad that's beside your bed and get it out.
Journal a little.
Journal a little. This is one of the biggest things is get away from the screens at night, get away from that blue light. I'm sorry, the red light of the devices. And you can wear blue light glasses that are helpful, but power down from this stuff and do other things before you go to bed. Read a book, like do some, maybe some gentle stretches, take a warm, nice shower, give yourself a bit of a routine in the evening that can give you steps to kind of lower and lower your stress and stuff, and give you the sleep, like you're preparing yourself for sleep. So it's better sleep. And it's easier to fall asleep. You got anything else for that?
We blogged on our website, so we did do a blog on sleep and
okay, so there's a bunch more in there.
We have a lot more information.
Check out our blog page on our website. All right, so number 5 is my favorite, is fasting. Again, it's free. You actually save money when you fast because you don't have to shop as much and you don't have to cook, and you save time, you save money, and you get a lot of benefits from it. So we did a podcast, our first one that we did is all about a Q&A. Dr. Val asked me a lot of questions. There's a lot of information on our website. I teach classes, but fasting truly is, at its core, just not eating certain times of the day throughout a day, and then eating in a certain window of the day. And in that time you're not eating, you're doing your body such a good service because you're allowing it to rest from digesting, heal. And my programs are geared and aimed towards helping you understand why and how, and start getting your fasting muscles going, because it's again something you got to learn, get a little better at, get more used to it. And then longer fasts, and that's teaching that why you would want to go into longer fast. And that's not a daily thing, that's a quarterly thing or a monthly or a weekly thing, depending on what you're doing. But it's free and there's so many benefits from it.
I'll just tell you that I just coined a new phrase that I said.
Yes. It's a very
I kind of said that when it comes to fasting, everybody does these diets, these fads, these things. They drink the juice, they, do all the thing. They do the keto, they do the Mediterranean, they do the bone broth, they do the, all these different things. And that you have to rearrange your lifestyle to fit the diet,
right?
And you're doing it for a certain period of time, and then you're going back to living your life, and you're change you can't change. You go back to living your life, and then you're gaining the weight, and you're gaining the thing, and you're losing the momentum. When it comes to fasting, that you change the fasting to fit your lifestyle. You're not changing your lifestyle to fit the fasting.
Absolutely.
So it actually becomes part of your life. It becomes something that you just do, and I find it so much easier to just do it. Like, and I said, I broke it down, and I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I went 2 weeks, no fasting whatsoever, eating whatever I wanted. And then when I went back to it, and I did not lose or gain a pound, and I know that some people are like, oh, you didn't, but I ate and enjoyed my life. I had parties, I had birthdays, I had, stuff going on. I drank, I had my alcohol, and I did what I had to do, and I lived my lifestyle. I include the fasting in that. So, like, again, Dr. Colleen teaches you that if you're going to go out to dinner, you're going to go to a party, you're going to go, then do what you have to do beforehand so you're not restricted. Because when you restrict yourself mentally, because I'll do the psychological aspect of it all, because that's my background, when you restrict yourself, and that's what I tell all our nutrition patients, when you restrict yourself from eating something, and you don't eat that piece of cake, or you don't have that piece of pie, or you don't have that, whatever, then that's all you're thinking about is the pie, the thing, the pie, the pie, the pie, the pie, the cake, the cake, the cake. So you know what happens?
I can't have that.
I can't have that. I can't have that. I can't have that. I shouldn't have it. It's not part of my program. And it's not, I don't have those points left, So what you end up doing is you're craving that. So what you're doing is you're doing a harm to yourself, because not only are you going to eat that piece of pie, but you're going to eat two.
Exactly.
Pieces, and it's not, you got to incorporate it into your lifestyle and what you do. So just remember that fasting, when you're doing the fasting, it's just make it part of what you do and part of your lifestyle. So then it's easier and it's free.
It's free.
And what's the last one?
The last one has to do with muscle in our bodies. And this is another one that can be very free, because you can do this in different ways of exercising and stuff. Sure. But as we age, one of the biggest predictors of longevity is your muscle mass. So when you are getting older, and maybe you're just not somebody who's ever really cared about their muscle because you just did life, but the less muscle you have on your body as you get into your later decades of life, you run the risk of all kinds of other problems, and falls and injuries is one of them. But you just don't have the strength to do certain things. You can then have the falls and injuries. But even if you have a sickness or something that you have to deal with, having very low muscle mass is not a good place to be at either. Someone who's very frail, when they get to their older ages and they become more frail, their lifespan is going to be a lot less than somebody that has muscle. It's actually really interesting, because I just was saying this to my mom today. I said, Mom, I think one of the reasons why you're doing pretty well at 90, who just had her hip repaired surgically, is because my mom's had a very active, very physical job most of her, her adult life. And then she said to me, she's like, yes. And then it was all that water aerobics I did for years. And my mom taught. So it was, the bonus of having that muscle mass going forward in your life as you do get older, it has a lot of benefits. And it benefits your metabolism, because that's how your body burns a lot of calories and stuff. But for a predictor of longevity and living a really healthy and a healthy and a well life, we don't want to just live longer. We want to have good longevity and enjoy our lives. Muscle is an extremely important thing that a lot of people don't take advantage of. And you don't need to go to a gym to do it. You don't need to have memberships. You can buy some cheap weights, mostly free, we talked about, but you don't need that. You can do body weight things, exercises, and you can go on YouTube and you can find anything and everything that you want to share. Yeah,
I love them.
Start somewhere and just try to increase things. And as lovers of AI and Chat GPT, who's called Loomis, our buddy Loomis, you can talk to Chat GPT or one of the AIs that are available for free and say, hey, I'm this age, I can do this, can't do that. Can you create a program for me? What are simple free exercises that I can do to increase my strength? And it will give you some great stuff. So please make sure that's a priority in your life as you're getting older. It's important for so many different things, and mostly free. anything else that you want to talk about? That's our 6 lifestyle wellness tools. And I want to go back to the website, and that's where we do have downloads that you can have for free. And Val's olive oil guide is something that's in our shop with us page, and it's under the digital product section. And it's just a free digital download, and you just have to put some information in, and then it'll give you the download, and
it'll send it to you for free. So
yeah.
It just shows you how to pick the right olive oil, how, what it does. And come on, I did the research. Go with the free
exactly. And you know what? Sometimes when you know more, you understand more, then you get, the purpose of it makes you more apt to doing it, makes you more like, oh wow, it's really kind of simple to do that, and I could get these benefits. Okay.
And we keep going back to my Maya Angelou quote: when you know better, you do better.
Absolutely.
That's it.
All right. We love everyone. And thank you so much for kind of coming and hanging out with us and in our authentic little world here. And I want to point out, I have a little jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and it's cute. So we wish everybody a great day, and we'll see you next time on the Wellness Inspiration Podcast. Yeah. We'll be on. Bye.
Be well. Stay well.
Be inspired, everyone.
Ciao.